Here are the top 5 leap option rules you need to live by if you want to crush the AI boom with leverage. Because there's an opportunity to have your best year ever if you integrate this strategy with these 5 rules I'm going to teach. Because if you don't, and you want to learn lessons the hard way, you might just be lighting your money on fire during one of the easiest periods in time to make money with leaps. Because even with a good trade, you can mismanage it, misexecute it, and still set yourself up to lose. So we don't want that. So jump the learning curve, set yourself up to succeed, because the AI boom is unlike anything we've ever seen. The dot-com bubble was a peanut compared to what we're seeing today. This is a multi-sector transformation. This is instantaneous change, and it's not even priced into the markets. It's incredible. So I want to go over the leap strategy, why I'm known as the leap guy, and tell you guys some things you need to understand. So I've been buying leaps for years. I just recently started doing it publicly on YouTube with conviction, with multi-six-figure positions, just to show you guys how to do it, how to execute it, but more importantly, set you up to make money. Because you might have seen my Tesla entry last year at the literal bottom. And what you don't see is that nobody else on the internet is doing it like I am. The technicals, the fundamentals, the execution is the top tier. So this is the stuff you want to replicate. I made mistakes. I've mismanaged positions, obviously, but I've gotten better and better and better. So the information I'm dropping today is incredibly valuable. Because even with mismanaging things and not entering properly, we still hit $100,000 with one single ticker last year, fully free on YouTube so everybody else could participate. So how do we get here? And how do you get here? Bible rule number 1, picking the right company is the very first thing you need to do and focus on, the right company, because the wrong ones don't hold their weight. And when you have a leverage bet, you're paying for time and you have a window to make money. So companies that are like Lucid and are in a bubble or hypey, they will not carry the same price over time, and they may decrease every single year. This is not a great place to place your money with leaps, because you're basically lighting it on fire in multiple ways. Through time decay, through the leap just losing value, and through the company just losing value. You don't want that. My best trade ever, one of them, is Verizon. This company has been around for 50, 100 years, paying dividends, very stable, hasn't wavered. When you buy a leap on a stable company, it's very hard to lose, because even stable companies win in a bear market. Stable companies win in a bull market. Stable companies win in a flat market. They can win all the time. So it's not hard to buy the discounted stable stocks and ride them up. And that's what we've done with UNH recently. That's what we've done with a couple other stable stocks like Lennar. But they're the companies that are in a burning building and still crushing it. So rule number 2 is don't cover your position. As you know, a leap option allows you to do a covered call. It's basically collecting a very small paycheck while limiting your upside. I think of it as like putting a box over fireworks. You bought the fireworks because you wanted them to explode, right? So why cover the fireworks? They can't explode, and you won't get the full effect of them. And it's the same thing that happens with a covered call on a leap. The leaps can explode 1, 2, 3, 4, 500%. But the box limits that coverage. So you can only make a certain amount. And if you are trying to cover your leaps, that defeats the purpose of them. The purpose of them was to make 1, 2, 300%. It wasn't to make a penny over $1. So be very careful what you do once you buy, because the mistake I made is even after this play profited $100,000, I decided last year to start covering all of my positions, stock, leaps, leveraged ETFs with covered calls. And this left me a net negative $100K, which means I missed out on $100,000 of profit because all of my positions were covered. And Tesla kept ripping, kept ripping, kept ripping. So I gave up half my profits covering. Remember, you're always going to make the most amount of money from buying and holding, never selling options against it. You're buying these things for that push opportunity. Rule number 3. This is something I just helped a student with. Literally one day later, he saw the opportunity from it. You need to let these things run at least 100% before touching them. Don't get too nervous. Don't get skittish. 20% is nothing. Even a 50% push is nothing. You need to let it hit 100% before doing anything. Because what happens is that 100% win pays for another play that lost complete value. Meaning if you burned all your money in the next play, you would still break even. You paid for one loser. But what happens with the leap option is we typically take a stop loss at 50% down. So if you make 100% on your winners and your losers are 50%, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. So that pays for 2 losers. The point is, if you don't go to 100, you don't pay for losers. And the more you pay for those losers, the better. Here's an example. Pepsi, ETHU, we're testing out a leap coaching program, a high risk coaching program. These were our most recent trades. They went 100% and 700%. What we do there is the most important next step. The only thing you should do there is sell half. This allows you to let the other half run forever, because Pepsi just hit 100% for some of our students, but ETHU hit it like 3 weeks ago. And that thing ran another 600% from there. And this is the most important lesson here, number 4. When a winner starts going, it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. Your gift for a leap is the time you have to hold it. So you might as well utilize the time you have left. So do not close this early. Let it go 4-6 months at least before selling the last half. But the goal is once you hit 100% gains, that's when you sell half only. Don't sell the whole thing. Never, ever, ever, ever sell the whole thing. Because like I said, winners just get started at 100%. And it's sometimes just the beginning of what's possible. 1,000% is not impossible with a leap. So with ETHU, you could see Daniel hit 200% and 60%. He knows the rule. He knows he can't close until a certain amount. So he waited, and he did. He had a $47,000 month because he was patient and closed later. So selling half is the best advice I could give. It's cost me so much money getting out of winners early. And what happens is you always look for the next play after. And sometimes it's not a great play. Sometimes the play you get into after the winner is a bad play, drops forever. And so if you just stayed in the winner, you would have probably made more money. So that's huge. Number 5, don't take stop losses. I told you guys I did amazing with leaps. I also made major mistakes. This year was the year of mistakes for Matt with leaps. I hit 100% on many, many leaps in front of you in a week. Airbnb 100%ed, Root 100%ed, and I think another one did. SoFi got stopped out. I got stopped out and it ran up to $24. So we entered at 14, stopped out at 10, went to 24. The leap was down 50%, 70%. Traditionally, most people say take a stop loss when you're down X amount because risk to reward and all that stuff. But the thing I realized after getting stopped out 2 or 3 times with great plays that ended up making money was if you still have time on it, don't take the stop. The stop loss is a 2-step rule from now on. If you're buying a leap, it needs to follow these 2 rules. You need to only take stop losses if you have 6 months left on the leap, which means half the time is gone and you have the last 6 months left. And at that 6-month mark, if you only have 6 months to go and you're down 50% or more, you take the loss. It's very rare you'd be down 70, 80, 90. So don't worry about being down a little bit more than 50. The point is, getting stopped early is costing you more than waiting 6 months, because winners can come even in the last 3-4 months of the leap. We see that this play SoFi. Basically, we spent 3 months getting chopped up, stopped up, and then it ripped on the 5th month. If you just waited, you would have made money. And then the 6th month, it absolutely soared multiple hundreds of percentages. So my rule moving forward, this was a huge switch this year because I struggled getting stopped early, is to wait till the 6-month mark hits before ever taking a stop. That's incredibly important. So I keep this short, I'll keep it simple. 5 leap rules to live or die by. I've been doing this a long time. This should be gospel to you. You need to take this and integrate it if you want to succeed with the AI revolution. I'll link my leap video to the right. That is the last one I posted that's absolutely popping off on YouTube. Check it out. Have a good week. Peace out.